Hello everybody, Jace coming to you live from the floor of San Diego Comic-Con once again. I'm here with writer Ben H. Winters. He has a series called Benjamin, which is absolutely amazing. It's one of those comics that does my favorite thing. It makes me think.
Oh man, awesome.
So there's a few themes and identities we're going to touch on here, and we'll have Ben back on in the future to talk a little bit more in depth and maybe even get a little spoilery on some of the details. But let's start off with the elevator pitch, man. Let everybody know what Benjamin's about.
Yeah, thank you. It's about a science fiction writer named Benjamin J. Karp, who died in 1982 after a prolific and insane career of writing sci-fi novels. And then in the comic, he wakes up in the present day in a motel room in Los Angeles, and he doesn't know why he's alive. He doesn't know why he's returned to life or what he's supposed to be doing. He suspects he might be a clone or an uploaded consciousness or an alien version of himself or an interdimensional. He just doesn't know. And so he basically sets off on a kind of darkly hilarious existential mission to discover why he has been brought back to life. And it's like something that might have been in one of his own books.
It's fascinating, the idea of immortality, or mortality, you can put it that way.
Yeah.
That is something that we're all born and we're all going to die.
That's
so
right.
there's a relatability there. That's the in. And for me, my intellectual curiosity, I would be fascinated to wake up far in the future and see what is technology like, what is society like, that sort of thing. So,
totally, especially if you're someone whose whole career was he was writing about all these very things, like what does it mean to be alive, what does it mean to have a consciousness, what does the future hold, like that was his whole life. So it's wild that he should come back and be like thrust into those very issues for real.
And is that something for you personally, the ideas of mortality, but also of identity, because he doesn't know who, like, am I the same guy if I died?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fascinated by all of that, and certainly as someone who is definitely in the throes of middle age, like you start to think about like how does this all end? Where do you go? And like also, what have I done with my life? What are my achievements worth to me? Like, could I go back? I don't know. It's, all of these things you start to feel them in a different way, right? As you get older, and certainly as a writer, as someone who has been lucky enough to create all these stories, it's like fun to wonder about like what does it all mean? Like, what is it like? I don't know. Has this been the purpose of my life, or is there some greater purpose I haven't discovered yet? I don't know. All of that shit.
And again, it's a comic that makes me think. I absolutely love it. It's gorgeous to look at.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree.
But you've had a very successful career in prose. Why do this as a comic?
Oh man, I mean, it's such a great question. And actually, this idea came to me originally. I was going to maybe write it as a novel. I've also worked in TV quite a bit, so there was like, and around that time is when Hunter Goranson, who's the publisher of Oni Press, was like gathering in ideas and pitches for create your own pieces. And he was like, what do you think? Like, because I knew him from other stuff. He's like, what do you got? I was like, oh man, it suddenly felt perfect to tell this story visually. In part because it's sort of also a love letter to LA, which is where I live, and like the sort of the deserts and the weird sort of trippy parts of Venice, and just like, so it just felt like it needed to be alive in that way. And I lucked out with the artist Leomacs, who's like, I don't know, he's brilliant and like sort of very subtle, and found these levels of this cosmic dimensionality of it that has been really delightful to see.
Well, unlike live action, the budget in comic, for special effects or whatever, because it does get trippy.
Yeah.
But I think the other thing that it really engenders, doing it as a comic with the sequential art, is setting that tone with the colors.
Yeah.
Kind of the clues. I some creators have agreed with me on this, some don't, and that's fine. But I sort of look at the colors of a comic as sort of the soundtrack. The soundtrack cues you up to when there's going to be like a jump scare, that sort of thing. That's what the colors in this book do. And you're right about Leomacs' line work as well.
Amazing. So yeah, I was very lucky with this team. I wouldn't say lucky though, because I think that Oni, they know what they're doing, and Sierra Han, who's the editor, like she really hooked it up in terms of the people that were assigned to this piece. But I agree with you. I think there is a certain magic to it. And it's funny. It's like, yeah, the budget for comics is low, but the inverse of that is that you do whatever you want. Right. You can imagine anything you want, which is like having worked in television, which is delightful, but you are immediately automatically constrained by what is physically possible, what is possible in terms of budget and casting, all of that stuff. So there's a certain joyful freedom to be like, well, if I want to decide that there's a spaceship, here it comes. I love it.
Yeah. So with that being said, would you like to do more? Are you?
Oh yeah. I found it's funny just being here in Comic-Con. Like, I've always loved comics, sort of in the abstract, in the sort of the background of my life, and read a lot when I was a kid. But now, as an adult, sort of midway through a career in which I've done a lot of other stuff, to discover this whole universe, and sort of professionally and personally, I met so many awesome people, and like I don't know. There's something really special about it. It is, and I don't take it for granted. Like, it is a sort of, it's a collaborative and joyful place to be working. And like, I fully intend to make comics one way or another for the next however many years I'm lucky enough to get. And maybe like Benjamin, after I come back, I'll make more.
Well, that's the other thing that's interesting, right? Like working in TV or novels, novels more so, very singular, sitting in a room writing. And with TV, if you're a writer, you're not the face of the property. That's the actors.
Yeah.
So they're the ones that kind of get the fan reaction and the accolades and what have you. Comics is completely different. You were at the table here signing your book yesterday, and it's that interaction. So how was that for you?
I mean, it's fantastic. It's always amazing when even one person is like, I read this and I was moved by it, or I read this and it made me think about whatever it is. And like, there's real power in that. So yes, as the creator of a comic, you are very much the captain of the ship, and it's like, that is an awesome feeling. And it's a feeling I've gotten a time or two over the years with the novels where someone will reach out. But there is something very special and intimate about comic reading, I think, and that when someone is reading a comic, it is, it's just a very one-on-one immersive experience. So you really feel like you're reaching across the page and interacting with someone in this way that it's magic. There's no other word.
Yeah, it's a connection. When I'm reading your creation, we are connected no matter where I am in the world at the moment. And obviously you're bringing your life experience to the story. I'm bringing mine.
Yeah.
And that's why I love talking to creators, because I'll talk to them about, hey, this is what I thought, and they're like, oh, I didn't even think of that. Sometimes they unconsciously, or again, it's just the difference in our life experiences. But there's so much value because at the end of the day, comic books are art, and art should evoke emotion. And that, that's, like you said, the magic of it.
Totally, 100%. Yeah, it was neat. I was sitting next to Colin Bunn yesterday signing books, and like, this is a guy he's been doing comics. It's been his life for low these years, and like people coming up to him with a copy of an X-Men or something from 10 years ago that like it's like a favorite thing, and like it meant so much to them, and I read it with my dad or whatever, and like that is amazing.
It's cool, and that's the magic of Comic-Con and the magic of comics, everybody. So be sure you're checking out Benjamin from Ben H. Winters.
Thank you so much. Pleasure.